Dr. Cynthia Mayo coming to you once again from Third John Living Well, where we have been thriving and flourishing and prospering according to Third John 2, which says, Beloved, I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in good health physically, just as I know your soul prospers spiritually. That is the amplified version. And the last time we met, we talked about a topic that my pastor been teaching on in talking about we're just hanging on. And as he concluded his message, as he was encouraging us to move beyond just hanging on, the Spirit spoke to me and said, a threefold cord is not easily broken. And I've heard that and I've read it. It's not something that you just like keep in the back of your mind. So it really got my attention when that was spoken to me. And so I went, needless to say, and I looked it up in Ecclesiastes 4:12. I'll start at verse 9 because it said, two were better than one because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fail, one will lift the other up. But woe to one who is alone and falls and does not have help. Again, if two lie together, how can they keep warm? How can they keep warm? If two lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And in verse 12, it says, and though one might prevail against another, two will withstand one. In other words, it will be two against one. And lastly, it says, a threefold cord is not easily broken. So I looked up that definition, threefold cord. And having three parts, threefold, that's what that means, having three parts and a threefold purpose. And it talks about 3 times as great or many. I also found an article as well, which I did leave when I posted last time, an article which talks about why it matters for you that a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. And basically, she just summed it up as there's strength in numbers. You can have one cord, and it may hold for a while, but when you wrap 3 cords together, they are not easily broken. I kind of thought about bridges, how they don't just have one steel cord. They have many cords that are wrapped together to create one strong band of cord to support a bridge or some other type of structure. So yeah, being alone, that's not what we were designed to do. We were designed to be together. So Pastor Jay Ashley's topic of we're better together is very timely. We have a government, and actually our nation itself is divided and subdivided. So there's no unity amongst, even in our nation, and it comes from our government being divided. We have a House, we have a Senate, but in the House, even they're divided. In the Senate, they're divided now. They've been going back and forth about a decision that was made, and so it's division, it's just there. But we as believers, we know that we are not alone. We don't stand alone. We don't battle alone. Sometimes we don't have to battle at all because he does it for us. But I did, this morning I woke up with my usual time between 3 and 4. And I couldn't, it's like, okay, I didn't feel the urge to pray necessarily, but I knew I had to be up. And so I just sat quietly and I listened. I turned on one of my radio stations I love, which is BBN Radio. If you love older songs or hymns, which I do, those are the songs that help me to get through. I know some of y'all might like, some other stuff. That's all well and good, but I'm a hymn baby. I was brought up in the generation where hymns were the thing of the day. And as I sat there quietly, it just seemed like time was going so fast. And I was listening, and the gentleman on BBN, they have certain hours where they read the prayer requests of people that call in or write in or use other means to contact them. And at the end of the prayer, he talked about a scripture that I have not really, I've read it years ago, And it was so awesome to see the scripture and hear the scripture again. In Jeremiah 33, it says, call to me and I will answer you, and I will tell you and even show you great and mighty things, that things which have been done, which have been confined and hidden. I'm sorry. Things which have been confined and hidden, which you do not know and understand and cannot distinguish. I'll read that again because I want you to hear it. Jeremiah 33, verse 3 says, call to me and I will answer and tell you and even show you great and mighty things, things which have been confined and hidden, which you do not know and do not understand and cannot distinguish. So we have to, knowing how to cope in this season that we're in this place that we're in our nation, where lawlessness is just abundant. And to keep our peace that we've been talking about, thriving in our peace, to keep our peace, he's telling us what to do. He says, call on me, and I will answer you, and I will tell you. That means we've got to listen, and I'll show you. We have to keep our eyes alert. You'd be surprised at the way God will answer a question, or the way he'll bring calm and peace to you. It may be something that you're looking at on TV, a movie. I'm an old movie buff. I love old movies. Streetcar Named Desire, Gone with the Wind, those type of things. I love those older movies. And as I said, sometimes I do pick up on some things. It's like, oh, God will speak to me through something. He says, and even show you great and mighty things, things that have been confined and hidden. Hidden from who? Those outside of his safety, those that are not believing. It's been hidden from them, but it's for us to find. It's the things we don't know and we don't understand and can't distinguish. But when we call on him, he said, I will answer you, I'll tell you, and I'll even show you. So I want to encourage us today. This is very brief. That I was telling my husband today, it just seems like time I wake up in the morning and before I know it, it's 12 noon. And then I'll be piddling around doing what I got to do. And before I know it, it's 2 or 3 o'clock in the evening. Time to get ready for dinner. And then after dinner, it's just like time does seem to slow down just a wee bit. But between the time I wake up and later in the evening around 8 o'clock, it's like in a blink of an eye, it's gone. So it's almost like when we wake up in the morning, we've got to be focused. We've got to have purpose. We've got to have direction. We've got to seek him. We've got to call on him for him to give us the answers and the direction and the instructions that we need for the day. For him to tell us what we need to do. Because time is it's like this to me. Especially since March came in. They say March comes in like a roaring lion with the winds. But time has been like this. I told my husband, I looked and it was like we got up around, I guess 8:30 or so, and before I knew it was 12 o'clock, and he was going to the gym. And I was like, oh my God, I still got to do my Facebook. And it took me, I don't know how long to gather my thoughts, even though I had things written down, to gather my thoughts, to sit down, and before I knew it, bam, it was 1 o'clock. I was like, where'd time go? So we need to, in these times that we're in order to maintain our peace, we need to call on him. First thing in the morning, before our feet hit the floor good, the first words out of my mouth when my eyes fly open is good morning. It can be 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's good morning, Father. If I wake up at 12 o'clock, 12:01, good morning, Father. Why? Because a lot of people didn't wake up. A lot of people are in comas. A lot of people, they're not quite in their right mind. But we are. When we're 12:01, good morning, Father. If I get up again at 2 or 3, good morning, Father. I greet him. And from there, we have our conversations. Sometimes I'll just sit and listen. And that's the other thing. When we're waking up at these odd hours, it's not always for us to pray or to say. Sometimes it's just like today, this morning, where it was just for me to sit and to listen and to hear what he had to say. And this is what he said to me over BBN radio. That's what stuck out to me. That's what struck my spirit. And that's what I wanted to share with you all today. So let's keep our peace. Let's flourish in our peace. Let's flourish in our peace. Remember, we talked about very briefly, we touched on the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. That's the peace that Jesus Christ himself walked in this flesh, in this stuff here. That's what he walked in. How could he do it? He stayed connected to the Father. He called on him day and night, anytime. It's not documented in the Bible, but Jesus had a prayer life because the disciples will touch on certain things that they heard Jesus say. And it'll be something that was said in prayer that they caught. Ooh. I want to encourage you. Please, 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 y'all. Let's push a little harder for that time in him. And I'm talking to myself, too. Yeah, I get that 3 o'clock one. It's pretty regular too. Every now and then he'll give me a few days off because it can wear on you a little bit, waking up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then you're up for like 2, 3 hours. And then by the time you fall asleep, you wake up it can be late. So, but he strengthens my body because I'm being obedient. He does. He really does. So, please let's call on him. Call on him and ask for his peace. That peace that Jesus Christ himself walked in, that's the peace he left here for us. He said, my peace I leave you. He didn't trust us to have the so-called peace of the world. That stuff is fleeting. And it's what's the word I'm looking for? Not transitional. It is somewhat transitional. Transactional. It's something good happens. Oh, I've got peace. But when something else goes wrong, so let's walk in the peace that Jesus left for us. And let's call on the name of the Lord. As he said, he'll answer, he'll tell us, and he'll show us. That's all I have for today. So I pray this is encouraging your hearts. Thank you to my Virginia Union classmates who constantly post extremely encouraging things throughout the day, not just once a day. Some of them post more than once. One of my classmates, she does self-care, and she posts every day. And that really blesses me. She's practical in what she says. She's not all spiritual and up here. A lot of stuff she says is very practical. Go for a walk. Go for a walk. Go to the gym. Go visit somebody. Go volunteer somewhere. Those are the things that she tells us concerning self-care. But anyway, I really don't want to hold you guys too long. But I would encourage you to please like and to respond. All of your words of encouragement, believe me, I do receive them very much so. It does help. Because I started out in this last year, and I've had to grow in it. And I pray that God will continue to show me how to even make this part of what I do, of ministry that he's given me, that it will improve, it will get better. I want it to be excellent, but I also want it to be practical. I want it to be approachable by anyone. It doesn't have to be a Christian. So please please comment, and by all means share what you've heard today and anything that really struck your heart. I do appreciate you guys for taking time for this. So anyway, until next time, you all be blessed, and I look forward to seeing you soon as we continue in 3 John 2 to prosper, to succeed, to be in good health, even as our soul prospers. Take care, everyone.